The People's Temple. The People's Temple was a religious group founded in the 1950s by Jim Jones. It started as a Christian church that promoted social equality and helped the poor. However, over time, Jim gained more control over his followers and moved them to Jonestown, which is a removed village in Guyana, to build his own utopian community. In 1978, after growing scrutiny and a visit by government agents, the situation ended very sad, and over 900 members found their end. Up to this day, it's speculated if it was voluntarily, or if they didn't know it, or if they were forced to do it. Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate was an American cult founded in the 1970s by Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles. They believed that they would be able to ascend to a higher spiritual level with the help of aliens. The two told their followers that Earth was about to be recycled, or in simple terms, renewed and rejuvenated, and the only way to survive was to leave it. In 1997, as the Hale-Bopp comet approached Earth, 39 members, including Applewhite, participated in a mass self-ending in their California mansion, believing their souls would ascend to a spaceship trailing the comet. The Manson Family. The Manson Family was a cult that was led by Charles Manson in the late 1960s in California. Manson, who was an aspiring musician, gathered a loyal group of followers. To them, he preached an apocalyptic vision that involved a war between races, and he called it Helter Skelter, which is named after the Beatles song. Over the next 2 years, they further built their following, and in 1969, they were all over the news, because they carried out a series of brutal crimes, with the most notable being the actress Shannon Tate and several others in their home. Manson and several members were convicted of these crimes, which shocked and captivated the public due to their gruesome nature and bizarre motives. Children of God. Children of God, which are now known as the Family International, were founded by David Burke in 1968 in California. This religious group promoted communal living, and they had a very extreme interpretation of Christianity. What was really controversial was that the group practiced and encouraged relationships between adults and minors. Over the years, it faced widespread criticism and legal action for its practices, which then led to significant changes where they also had to change their name. However, the changes have already been done, and they still have a very negative association to their names. The Branch Davidians. The Branch Davidians are classified as a religious cult, and they originated from the Seventh-day Adventist Church. They came into the public eye during the early 1990s with their leader, David Koresh, who claimed to be its final prophet. The Branch of David is best known for the 1993 siege of their compound in Waco, which is located in Texas, by federal agents. The reason why they were investigated is because there were some pretty serious allegations for stockpiling weapons and statutory sexual assault. This siege ended badly with a fire that ended the life of 76 people inside of the compound, including their leader David. Nation of Yahweh. The Nation of Yahweh is a black supremacist religious group formed in 1979 in Miami by Yahweh Ben Yahweh, or his real name Hewlett Mitchell Jr. They believed that African Americans are the true descendant of ancient Israelites. They became famous for their involvement in violent crimes, such as the murder of dissenting members and outsiders. Yahweh Ben Yahweh was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder and died in 2007, but the group still exists. Kashi Ashram. Kashi Ashram is a cult founded in 1976 in Florida by May J.L. Sati Agwadi. And while they promote interfaith between beliefs like Hinduism, Buddhism, or Christianity, they grew very infamous very quickly. Despite their peaceful teaching, Kashi Ashram has faced controversy, which includes allegations of psychological abuse and the mistreatment of his members. Word of Faith Fellowship. The Word of Faith Fellowship called itself a Christian church, which was founded in 1979 in Spindale, North Carolina, by Jane Wally and her husband. They have a strong focus on very intense worship services, such as shouting and speaking in tongues. Ever since their foundation, they have been the subject of numerous allegations and legal actions because of their very concerning abusive practices, which include physical abuse as a form of discipline and the constant isolation of their members from their families and the outside world. NXIVM. NXIVM yes, that's really how they are pronounced, started as a multi-level marketing company offering so-called executive success programs and personal development workshops. They were founded in the late 1990s, and for a while, it all went smoothly for them. However, after a while, it was revealed that they also had a secret society known as DOS, where women were branded and forced into sexual slavery. In 2019, their founder, Keith Raniere, was convicted of federal crimes, including sex trafficking, conspiracy, and forced labor. Angel's Landing. Angel's Landing was another cult-like organization that was led by Daniel Paris, who's also known as Lou Castro. They had a residency in a 20-acre property in Wichita, Kansas. Now, Lou portrayed himself as some kind of seer who claimed he could predict the future and has some supernatural powers. And as it often goes with these cults, it didn't take long until they grew very infamous for insurance fraud, abuse, and the deaths of several commune members. Over a decade, they got investigated, and in 2015, Paris was convicted for murder, rape, and child molestation, among with other charges, which got him a lifelong prison sentence. Church of the Lamb of God. The Church of the Lamb of God was a sect that came from the mainstream church called Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or in short, LDS. It was founded by Orville LeBaron, and he also saw himself as some kind of prophet. In there, he led the group with polygamous and violent ideas and religious teaching. The sect became infamous for its involvement in a series of murders ordered by Orville against rival leaders and other disobedient members. Therefore, they also got the name Mormon Murder Cult. As you can imagine, it didn't take long until he was convicted and put in jail. In 1981, Orville died in prison, but his legacy lasted long after, and the killings went up to the 1980s. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day. Now speaking about the fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-days, they are also a group that split from the mainstream Mormon church. They were well known for the polygamy that was happening, which means they practiced plural marriage, thinking that this was wanted by God. They were around for quite a while, but they faced major legal issues under the leader Warren Jeffs, who was convicted in 2011 for child assault and underage marriages. They are around even to this day, and they are known for their strict dress codes, controlled contact with the outside world, and their secretive community. Synanon. Synanon was originally founded as a drug rehabilitation program in 1958 by Charles Diederich. They quickly evolved into a communal living movement in the 1960s. At the beginning, they were celebrated for the innovative approach for drug rehab, but the downfall soon began for their practices. One of them is called The Game, which is a form of intense group confrontation meant to break down the ego of their members. And as the community grew bigger, more and more of these cult-like behaviors started. It was exposed that they practiced forced sterilizations, child abuse, and violent acts against people who want to leave the cult. The Antler Kids. The Antler Kids was a destructive cult founded in the late 1970s by Roche Ferriold in Canada. Today, he is known for being a very charismatic but also manipulative leader. At the beginning, he got his followers with his ideas about the end of the world and that they needed to prepare for those events. It didn't take long until he enjoyed total control over the group, dictating almost every aspect of their lives and subjecting them to abusive punishments that were often brutal. Today, the Antler Kids are known for their gruesome acts of violence, including physical mutilations and the murder of a member, which eventually led to Ferriold's arrest in 1989.